93. Continued. The vow of obedience. The vow of obedience is superior to the first two. It is, to tell the truth, a holocaust, and it is more necessary because it forms and animates the monastic body. To what does the vow of obedience oblige us? By the vow of obedience, the religious promises to God to be obedient to his legitimate superiors in everything that they will ordain in virtue of the rule. The vow of obedience makes the religious dependent on his superior in virtue of these rules for his whole life and in all his affairs. A religious commits a grave sin against the vow every time he disobeys an order given in virtue of obedience and of these rules. The virtue of obedience goes further than the vow. It embraces the rule, the regulations, and even the counsels of the superiors. Is the virtue of obedience indispensable for a religious? The virtue of obedience is so indispensable to a religious that, even if he were to perform good actions contrary to obedience, these would be evil and without merit. Can we sin gravely against the virtue of obedience? We sin gravely when we scorn the authority or the order of the superior, or when spiritual or temporal harm to the community results from our disobedience. What faults endanger the vow? To be prejudiced against the superior, or to harbor an antipathy for him, murmuring and criticism, tardiness and negligence. The degrees of obedience. Prompt and complete fulfillment, the obedience of the will, when the will persuades the intellect to submit to the advice of the superior. To facilitate obedience, St. Ignatius suggests, moreover, 3 means. Always to see God in our superior, whoever he may be. To justify in itself the order or advice of the superior, to accept each order as an order from God, without examining it or reflecting on it. General means humility. Nothing is difficult for the humble.